So I'm a propulsion and systems engineer at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So each of the NASA centres focus on a different area, and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is based in California, focuses on the robotic exploration of the solar system. So right now I help lead a team that's designing a propulsion system to land our largest ever spacecraft on the surface of Mars. So I guess I just step way back. I grew up in Torquay, Australia, a long way away from the work that I do right now, except that there's a wonderful view of the night sky, right? Our Australian skies are just stunning. And so from a very early age, I used to look up at the stars and dream of helping us explore our solar system. That was something that I was really passionate about before I even knew what physics was, or, had real understanding of what was going to be involved to do the role that I do now. And that dream of becoming an astronaut led me to learn more about which NASA centers were doing what work, and then made me, led me into this field of propulsion, so rockets, which somewhat combined a love of fluid mechanics that I have, how fluids move, and the physics behind that, and then this whole, real passion for space exploration. And so I found myself pretty naturally fitting into this role of a propulsion and now sort of systems engineer, where I'm looking not just at the propulsion side, but how we fit into the overall system design. And I love it. I love it. I still would love to go to space. At the first opportunity, I will be putting my hand up. But that is a very long journey. And the path to being an astronaut involves a good dose of luck as well as talent and hard work. And so I have to say right now, I love the fact that I do feel like I'm contributing to our species' attempts to explore, and that we're really trying to push the envelope. And also that I get to learn. I get paid to learn every day, and I just feel very grateful that that's a part of my job. One of the biggest challenges I encountered in my career was just working out how to navigate the path from being a space enthusiast in Australia to getting my foot in the door in this industry. And it was really hard because at the time Australia didn't have, we didn't have our space agency. We didn't really have a cohesive network of space enthusiasts. There were some, but it was pretty disparate. And that was, I think, the hardest part of this whole journey. Now, I will definitely talk to the challenges that I face in my role, because I think that's more specifically what you're looking for. But I think the biggest challenge, honestly, was taking those early steps. And having faith and confidence that this was going to work out when many people were telling me it was impossible. That sounds melodramatic, but it's really hard as a foreign national to work in the field of rockets in the US. Like there's a whole lot of barriers in the way there that are real. And I was just really lucky that I had other people trying to help me on this journey. That when you go to someone and say you're really passionate, enthusiastic, and you're willing to work hard, that other people step up to the mark and really help you get there. So I do want to say that as a starting point. And then more specifically, the day-to-day challenges now. I think one of the biggest challenges with these big missions is that we have huge teams and we all need to be oriented towards a common goal. And that's not to underplay the technical challenges which come up every day, but just to say that we always think about engineering as like the pointy end of science and real life coming together. But there's also this whole communication side that all of us tend to underplay, myself included. And yet, for our teams to operate successfully, we really need to make sure that we have clear communication. And so some of that is having good systems in place for how you're tracking changes and things. But a lot of it comes down to individuals being willing to communicate clearly, not just when they have an answer, but when they don't, which I think is more important. And I'll also say that I think over the course of the last 2 years of craziness, I realized personally that, I'm responsible for a lot of numbers that are getting used to inform a design. Just today, I was helping size tanks, and these are big parts of our spacecraft that, if we get it wrong, it's stressful. And so the other personal challenge I've had to face is both having the humility when I'm not sure of something to go to others and say, hey, can you take a second look at this? and then also to have the confidence to stand behind, you know, my own my own abilities when I need to, and yeah, and be upfront and be willing to step into the role and say, this is what I have, and I stand behind it. Well, I have to start by saying it's a huge honour to be a finalist. I, as an Australian who's working overseas, and yes, I'm not in Australia, but I love Australia. I left Australia not because I wanted to leave my country, but because I was just really passionate about the field that I work in. And so I've always been grateful to Advance in their role in helping us feel a little bit more connected. And I think even more so in the last 2 years. You know, I'm on those monthly Born Global emails, and so I think because I've been aware of Advance and the role it plays, it makes it even more wonderful now to be nominated. And so, yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, honestly. I'm excited to see who else are finalists. I've seen previously that some other Australian colleagues that I know at JPL, like Abigail Orwood, who is just this amazing role model, as well as just a wonderful human, have won this award previously. And so, yeah, I'm really grateful to be included in that cohort of people. I think the biggest piece of advice I'd give to anyone who's interested in this field, or who's interested in a different field, but, you know, one that doesn't really have a clear, defined path to get into it, is just to pursue your passion and accept that there's going to be closed doors and no's on the way, and that all that really matters is a single yes. You need to have the resilience to take all those no's, but know that you're working towards that yes, and keep pursuing that dream. And I think also with that is also being honest to those around you. It's hard for others to help you pursue a career path if they don't even know what path you want to take. And so I think speaking up about that passion and then following it is really key. So the bigger picture motivator for me is the same as it's always been. I just really love being part of a team that's helping us to explore space. And there's bigger parts of that, right? I'm also really passionate about our planet, and I'm passionate about what we might be able to learn to help us here on Earth. And so I feel like underlying my day-to-day motivation is this bigger picture excitement that I really do believe strongly in what we're trying to do at JPL. And I believe in the team members that I work with, and I think a lot of us are really enthusiastic about the type of work we do, and that helps motivate you when things get hard, or when you're told that a whole lot of work that you've just done, we've made a change in our, you know, design, and we have to redo it all from scratch. I think it helps that, you know, I really do believe in what we're trying to do as an organization, and I believe in the skill set of my teammates. And so I trust their decision making as well, and that we're all, you know, working to make the right decisions, not just for us as individuals, but, you know, for this whole effort, and ultimately for what we're trying to do as a species. But I also just feel very grateful that I'm doing a job fundamentally that I enjoy, and I think that makes everything easier.